Guys and dolls, so this video, I'm just wanting to first of all say thank you to everybody who subscribed, liked, comments, and so much respect so I have for you guys that can see past my past. And you know, it's not something I ever thought I'd ever see coming in my life. It's not something I'm prepared for. I'm a wee bit overwhelmed, to be honest with you. It is a bit daunting, you know. I've never pushed my channel out. I've never asked people to subscribe. I've always asked other YouTubers never to shout me out and stuff like that. And all my followers have always been told not to like my videos and stuff, you know, and lives, you know what I mean? Because I just wanted to keep it, you know, a small community of really good guys, YouTubers and TikTokers who can just put the word out. Any information I get, I put it out in a video, and then they go forward with that. And that's all I've ever looked for this. I'm not looking to make money. I've had all the money I've ever needed, you know, and it's never done me, it's never served me any purpose. You know, I've been everywhere I wanted to be, been all around the world. I've experienced and had everything I've ever wanted and dreamed of, you know, and it gets to a stage in life sometimes when the simple things in life like this is all you need sometimes, you know what I mean, and a loyal dog by your side. And, you know, guys, it's not, I'm not looking anything out of this, you know what I mean. I'm not wanting to be a politician. I'm not wanting to lead anything or become any sort of leader, you know. I want to just be like yous. I just want to keep like yous, a member of the public, a concerned parent, you know. And the reason why I keep saying this is because I want yous to know that yous can do what I'm doing. This is what I've always said in all my videos, you know. I try and promote as many guys as I can, and I am going to just do this right now, and I'm going to promote a guy called Dino Bane, right? So it's DINO BANE Clips CLIPS. Now Dino Bane has a Dino Bane channel, and he's got a Dino Bane Clips channel. Please go on and watch the last couple of videos he's done, you know, and then have a look at his library. Go on to his old, you know, I'm not saying I would ever get on with him in real life, face to face, you know what I mean? You know, he's not everybody's cup of tea. He's quite dark humour, but I like him as a YouTube content creator. I think he's doing amazing work for his country, for England, and yeah, he's a very brave man, very, very brave man, and his content, his style is quite unique, very, very unique. So Dino Bane, please go on, give him a subscribe. Always remember to subscribe, guys. Always remember to like and interact with the channel, because it helps the channels. You know, all other YouTubers, this is what you have to do. You know, if you're on other YouTube channels, you've got to interact with them. You know, share and subscribe and like, you know. That's the most important thing, you know. You don't have to give people money. We're all skint. Everybody's skint. You know, that's why, you know, they buy me a coffees for somebody can afford to buy one coffee, you know, and I email you every time I do a live. That's what's that about, you know. That's it. You know what I mean? In the last 3 days, I've had £140 in buy me a coffees, and I will be putting it, I'm going to put it towards another camera. And, you know, like I say, and also, I'm very generous, you know. I've got other people around me, the security, people who do my camera work, you know what I mean. So I need to make sure, because I don't drive my own car because of security reasons. So I'm always drove about, and I like to pay my way, you know what I mean. I don't expect anybody to pay for me, you know. So that's who I am. I am my own man, and I'm not here for fame or to make any money. I'm here just to make sure when I go, which could be very soon, I'm 56, I'm 4 years away from 60, and it frightens me that at least, you know, the bottom line is, guys, you know, I want my daughter to know it's right. I want my daughter to look back and know that Freedom Dad was her dad, and he done everything he could to try to make sure that she had the same upbringing and the same safety and security that I had. okay, and the same chances of becoming a Christian, getting the same chances at churches and Sunday school and all that, you know what I mean, and let her know of God, and you know, and then she makes her own decisions. You know, I would never push my children into any direction, but all we can do is give them the options to choose from, and that's what I want. I want the options to choose from. I don't want them options being taken away by any other person, either government or foreigner, okay? That's the most important thing, you know what I mean? Everything else that comes with it, you know, with the videos I do, is to do with, you know, mental health, the NHS, how everything's crumbling around us, you know, how it's our working class girls are being abused again, like when I was back in the children's homes back in the 70s and 80s. It was working class kids from children's homes, you know, the most vulnerable kids without parents, like me. Nobody in the world, not a person in the world would have even missed me when I was a wee boy. A couple of my mates in the street would have went, "Where's wee Billy?" That was my nickname when I was a wee boy. You know, but that would have been it. You know, and how many kids like that have just disappeared that you know, we'll just never, nobody will ever know. You know what I mean? Nobody will ever know. And we've heard stories of children going missing, especially when it was back in the day. And maybe one day we'll find out the truth, because we do know that MI5 and MI6 and intelligence agencies know exactly what these predators did from Westminster and the high ranking and around the government and all that, the heads of police and heads of judges and prosecutions, all involved in child exploitation back in the 70s and 80s. So where we are today in 2025 is we're now in the same situation where our most vulnerable children from children's homes are being exploited in a way that's even worse than before. It's a new level of essays. It's a new level of abuse that we've never seen upon children in our lives. You know, it's new, it's raw, and it's fucking heartbreaking, guys. It really is. When you read the transcripts, it fucking makes I get a lump just talking about it. So it is difficult, you know. You know, but we change this emotion. We're not breaking down. People will get angry before they will break down and cry, and this is the problem we've got. So, you know, the bottom line is, guys, is it's important that people understand exactly why I do what I do, and why I put my head above the parapet, put my neck out there, and you got to understand. There's a lot of people at play here, right? There's a lot of people wanting to shut me up, you know what I mean? The government want to shut me up. The government are going to use people that they have, agents that they have in Northern Ireland, to spread rumours and try and get me unalived and all the rest of it. And I have to make sure my security is top notch because of this. I do not fear my friends and my family that are here, and all the people in my areas and the different areas that I've grew up with. I fear the ones in the shadows that work for the government, because we've had collusion over and over again on both loyalist and Republican sides as we went through the Troubles. Some of the collusion is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. The lengths that our government went was as bad and dirty as the lengths that the terrorists went. Please believe me. And everybody in Northern Ireland knows this. We know this. You know, we know everything now, you know. Obviously, we just can't talk about it. So yeah, that's my biggest fear. I don't have a government that represents me, okay? I don't have a justice minister that represents me. It's clear by what's happened to Tommy and what's happening to other British boys that have been locked up in prison for saying hurty words, for saying opinions, for expressing their opinions. So we don't have a justice minister. I don't believe my child will have an education minister that will represent her, and that's my personal beliefs. I don't believe, I'm sorry, and people are going to say this is far right and racist, but I'm sorry, but I don't think a Pakistani or any Muslim man should be in power of our education system. I don't think that man will represent the beliefs and traditions of my child. And I believe that, you know, if not Christian religion will be pushed out of schools, maybe both religions. I can't, you know, at the end of the day, guys, we only go with the evidence that we got. We see schools stopping the Easter thing, you know what I mean? And we've seen the protests outside the school, one particular school, I think UKIP covered it, and they cancelled Easter. You know, we see our Easter eggs no longer have Easter on them. You know, little small changes that do with my religion that I've been brought up with. You know, being taught about Christ rising, and you know, the birth of Christ, and you know, all the stories, all the biblical stories that we were brought up and told in school and taught in religious studies, and you know, an understanding of other religions as well. But you know, Christian, I'm a Christian, my daughter's a Christian, you know, and I want her to be taught them beliefs, and that worries me when they're being taken away because they don't want to offend somebody else that's came into the country, you know what I mean? And this particular school, at the same time, we're having some sort of get together or something for a refugees welcome week, you know. So you see, the problem we've got is we've got the far left who love to label people like me far right, because that's a way of silencing me. You know, at the end of the day, I'm only speaking the truth of what I see. I'm not making nothing up. I'm not giving anybody misinformation. I try to keep it as accurate as possible, but I'm also giving you my opinion of what I think, of my experience of life in prisons, my experience of England, my experience of Scotland, my experience in Northern Ireland. You know, everywhere I've been all around the world. I've been all over Europe. I've been in America, Canada. Don't ask how I got in, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been to all these places. And you know, at the end of the day, I've got a wealth of knowledge. I really do. Like, I retain information. You know, I'm not the brightest, but I retain what I see, you know what I mean? And I remember things that a lot of people forget. And being a father sort of helps that, you know what I mean? It sort of gives me that wee bit of a superpower to deal with these sort of things. And that's it in a nutshell. You know, witnessing hundreds of thousands of children being horrifically abused, and then witnessing the government covering it up, you know, witnessing how everything behaved in court, the length of the sentences these men got, and the fact that they're back out on the streets. Some of them are back in kebab shops working. Some of them could possibly be working in taxis using somebody else's license and name. This is the problem we have, you know. And we have these guys coming in on the boats and coming in all directions. They're coming in on visas, work visas, these kebab shops. And we've now got evidence where they're giving over 100 visas out for how many people work in a kebab shop. But, you know, and then we've got the student visas and everything else. And then we've just got people coming in on boats and airplanes and stuffing their passports and IDs down toilets and stuff like that. So when the problem, this is one of the big problems, and one of the reasons why I do this is to bring these kind of things to these. This is important. This is very important for everybody. The government love the fact that we all go on about the boats. Stop the boats. And he loves talking about we're going to come down on the smuggling gangs, right? As I've said for the last 7-8 months, there is no smuggling gangs, okay? It's a lot of men, and thousands of men in France, getting together in groups, stealing, begging or borrowing to buy a boat and buy an engine, and away they go. You know, look, me man, people swim across that ocean. You got to understand that. People actually swim from England to France, okay? Do you really think it's that? Do you really think they need people smugglers to get them across that wee bit of water, or to buy a dinghy and an outboard motor? That's one point. The second point is they like you going on about the boats because the boats is a very small, minute percentage of the problem. There's far more people coming into the country in so many different ways. The boats is insignificant to me, but yet we all go on the boats. Yes, sometimes there's 1,000 people coming in a day. How many people do you think are coming in a day in every other way? Through ferries, through illegally, the quotas that are needing to be filled, you know, because we're now seemingly part of the EU once again. Now Labour's got rid of Brexit, you know. So these are the things that you need to realise. These are the things that the government keep, like, they love pumping it out. They love that everybody goes on about the boats. So, you know, you need to change all that. That needs to be changed. The rhetoric needs to be changed. And you need to understand what you are trying to stop. Because if you're trying to protect your children and your lands, you need to understand what you're trying to stop, you know. And at the end of the day, we're full, you know. We don't have the money. Was it 100 million a fucking day or something? You know what I mean? Just on hotels or something like that. Some ridiculous, like a day. I don't know what it was. I should have wrote it down, but it's a lot of millions a day, just on one wee bit. And then we've got money for social benefits. So I've done all this. I've done the research and done videos about this, you know what I mean? So we are the Great Britain. This is very important. 1.8 1.5 billion. 1.5 billion a month on universal credit and social benefits and housing benefits for people that's come into this country from other countries. So these are the doctors and nurses, you know, these are the ones that are here to do the jobs that we don't want, are lying in their beds till 12 o'clock, because we know this as well. We've done this research. We go into these areas, right, to get footage, and you go in the morning and there's nobody about. 10, 11 o'clock, nobody about. After 12, 1 o'clock, place is buzzing, you know, with foreigners, and that's the common, you know, that's the common thing. And not in every area, just some areas, you know what I mean? And but the truth is, this is the fact, 1.5 billion a month on social benefits from your taxpayer dollars going to these men and women who are coming in here and milking the system dry. And not only do they, in a lot of cases, you think they just have one account? Wait, think about it. Come here, you. Come on, out of there. Think about it. You honestly think these guys are coming in here and just setting one universal account when they can go to Ireland and do it all again? They can go up to Scotland with a different name. Say they've just arrived to Scotland, I'm a refugee. You know, I don't know. This is facts. This is from the government. They know this. And this is why they're coming down on your social benefits. You know, this is why they're attacking PIP. This is why they're now going to attack our most vulnerable. Just like they take the heating allowance. It's our people that will suffer because our government are spending your taxpayers' dollars and pennies on these people. And I don't know what the true figure is a year. But my God, guys, what could we have done with that money? Could we have not given that money to our families to make more children, to help them bring more children into the world? You know, could we have not found different resources of trying to fix people's mental health and illnesses by using natural resources that God's given us, that grows in amongst our forests and trees? You know, there's so many things that we could do with that money. We could have spruced up our NHS, we could have spruced up our schools, we could have turned our children into leaders instead of workers, you know what I mean? Come on, out of there. Hey, get out of there. Come on. So yeah, guys, it's a strange old world we live in, but the facts are there. The facts are all there for you. So this is just a wee walk with a dog. It's a wee bit, just a wee 10 minutes, 15 minutes, don't even know what it's at. 17 minutes, and just while I'm walking the dog, because I'm going to go in here and it's going to be non-stop, and then I'm on the move from 2 o'clock, and I probably won't stop till Monday. And that's the truth. And I can't tell you what I'm doing, I can't tell you where I'm going, but it's quite immense, you know what I mean? But one day at a time. We never know what's coming, and we never know what's ahead of us. So I'm not going to make too many plans, because I might not be here tomorrow. You just never know. Here! She's away in. So guys, at the end of the day, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You know, keep sharing, keep getting the word out. Check out other YouTubers. You know, we've got British Lorder. One of my guys will put the link up in the comments, so it's a scarred in the comments. Any links, guys, for any YouTubers, for all these new subscribers, please throw them out. Paz49, Godford Talks, British Lee Patriot, Paz49, Richard Inman, as you all know. And yeah, I hate forgetting people. So the young Arthur, get him up there as well. He's a good wee content creator, and he's been doing it a long time. You know, we've had our wee differences, me and Arthur, but we're always really good friends, and that's what it's all about, guys. You know, the bottom line is, guys, you know, we try to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on. It's not just about me, it's about everybody, and that's what it should be in our communities. It should be about everybody's community, every community looking after the next community. And yeah, I'm hoping this has been a big step for us in Northern Ireland, as we're going to make changes now, because I don't think anybody wants to see what's coming. I don't think anybody's going to put up with it, and I don't know what the future holds for Northern Ireland. It's all a bit scary because of the British government. Let's be honest, people are nervous because we are controlled by these people in Westminster, and yeah, we're controlled by the intelligence service of Westminster. You know, that's the scary part. I feel that they're our enemies now. You know, they don't represent us. They don't care about us. We're the second-class citizens. They're throwing our men and young men into prison. Lucy Connolly's sitting there doing silly amount of time. it just doesn't make any sense. And while all that's going on, you know what? You know what you all forgot about? The two guys in Manchester airport. What's happened to them? Why have they not been sentenced for allegedly what they've done? I know allegedly, we all seen what they've done, the whole world has seen what they've done, but yet they're still not in jail. Ricky Jones, how much went like that? The people, and if you see anybody like me, that's what he said. Anybody like you watching this, he said to his people, if you see them, why is he not in jail yet? How long are you going to let these men out on the street before you finally put them in prison? While you jail all our men? That's your British government, guys. Pay close attention to what they're doing to our people, and pay close attention to what they're doing to the people that's just come into this country. And that's all you need to look at. We need to get rid of the government. Your government's failing you. Your government's the bottom line is you're getting destroyed within. You're being destroyed within. There's somebody else controlling things. Starmer's not in control. The only thing he's not even in control of his rent, boys. Let's be honest. Allegedly. But everybody knows that as well. You know what I mean? These are the private school boys that you have in charge of your country. Fucking, you need to get rid of them, guys. I'm Freedom Dad. God bless.